You know, there's nothing more frustrating than spending all this time and money on finding the perfect piece for your wardrobe, curating it, and still, for some reason, opening it up every day and just hating everything that's in there. You feel like you have a closet full of clothes with nothing to wear. Every time you get dressed, you feel really frustrated and even off in your clothes. And you can't quite put your finger on why. So in today's video, I wanted to share with you 10 reasons why you may feel like you hate your wardrobe. And in knowing some of these reasons, I'm hoping we can shift that from hate to love. For those of you who don't know me, welcome. My name's Christina. I talk about things like intentional living, intentional spending, and how to get the most out of what you've already got. I used to be a full-blown shopaholic where I spent most of my money on clothes, but still somehow always ended up feeling like I had nothing to wear. Nowadays, I really know myself and therefore really know my style, and getting dressed is a whole lot more fun. Plus, I'm no longer blowing my whole paycheck on my wardrobe only to never wear the thing. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, then please give this video a thumbs up. It's a great way you can help support my channel. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. The first reason you feel like you may hate your wardrobe is that it's because it's full of your fantasy self. I've talked a lot about the fantasy self on my channel and how to declutter her, but also how to embrace it so that you can actually see the change that you want to make. The fantasy self is essentially the idealized version of who we want to be and how we want to be perceived by others, but it may not necessarily align with who we are, how we live, or how we dress. And my wardrobe used to be littered with my fantasy self. I used to really aspire to be this like effortless, cool girl, rock and roll, really trendy, and I wanted people to perceive me as those things through my clothes, which meant I had a closet full of high heels that I never ever wore, all of the latest trends and prints because that's what was cool at the time. And despite admiring a lot of those things and even trying to incorporate those words into my style, like feeling cool, effortless, a little bit edgy, my fantasy self was taking over my wardrobe, and the disconnect was that I was never actually wearing those pieces. So I wasn't making any effort to become that fantasy self that I thought I wanted. So if you take a look at your wardrobe and see a lot of your fantasy self, like maybe you wear sneakers most of the time, but you have a whole lot of high heels that you never wear, let go of that part of the fantasy self or take some time to do something about it. If you want to be Carrie Bradshaw running around in heels all day long, then start wearing those heels. I do think a fantasy self isn't necessarily toxic all the time. It can be helpful, but only if you do actually take the time to weave that part of the fantasy into your life. If you buy something in the name of the fantasy but never really wear it, then to me, it really ends up being clutter and a reason that you may hate your wardrobe. So it's a little bit of a shit or get off the pot type of concept. If you want to use it and incorporate it into your life, start doing that. And if not, and it doesn't feel like you, then I think it's a signal that it may be a bit uncomfortable and it's okay to let it go. Number 2 is that your closet is a mess. One of the main reasons you may feel like you never have anything to wear or just hate everything in your wardrobe is because you don't really know what's in there and because it's a mess. You don't know what is where, you can't see anything clearly, and every time you open it up, it feels overwhelming instead of inspiring. I have a ton of videos on how to organize and declutter your closet, so I will leave a playlist linked down below. But when a closet's really unorganized, it's really difficult to even know what you have and can make getting dressed a really overwhelming and annoying experience. That's when I feel like it can really become that cycle of just wearing the same thing every day and subsequently feeling really bored with your clothes. So I like to keep my wardrobe organized and displayed in such a way that it almost feels like a boutique. This might require things like storing seasonal items away, perhaps really curating a more seasonal capsule wardrobe. But when you can see everything you have, it's organized and easy to access, then I think it can make getting dressed a whole lot more fun. And for me, it's really helped eliminate that whole closet full of clothes, nothing to wear feeling, because when the closet is organized and tidy, it makes things accessible and really feels like you're shopping your own closet. And through the organization, you can get rid of things that you know don't make you feel good, that you haven't worn, that you are ready to let go of. And that way it just frees up empty space for everything that remains so you can play with it and start enjoying it. Number 3 is that you have too much stuff. And with this, I'm not saying that you necessarily have to go and get rid of everything and whittle your wardrobe down to a 30-piece capsule wardrobe. I don't have that myself. I like clothes. I like having a larger wardrobe. So there's no pressure to actually get rid of anything, but again, this is where you can utilize storage, some decluttering if you know you want to get rid of it, and curating a smaller wardrobe from your larger one that's a little bit more time-bound, that gives you an opportunity to style some pieces that you haven't necessarily worn in a while, or pieces that you do wear all the time without feeling like your wardrobe is a mess and really overwhelming. When there's too much in the way and too many choices, I think it becomes a little bit more overwhelming and frustrating, where we can just throw our hands up in the air and say, ugh, I hate everything and I have nothing to wear. So this is where I think tidying, organizing, decluttering, and essentially curating your wardrobe can be something that's really useful to help you fall back in love with your clothes and just decide what feels like you and that you want to wear and use, and what can potentially go. Number 4 is a lack of planning. So looking effortless takes a lot of effort. I know that's the secret that nobody wants to tell, but I think it takes time and practice to become a person who can just grab any piece in their wardrobe, throw something on, look fabulous, feel fabulous, and go out the door. So although the effortless grab and go kind of method of getting dressed may be the ultimate goal, I think it does take practice and it does take time. So in my opinion, the best way to do this is to actually plan your outfits. This doesn't necessarily have to look like laying out your clothes the night before, although that can be helpful. It can also look like taking a few minutes to create a mood board on Pinterest, take a look at your Instagram saves, or creating an outfit album in your phone that you can reference later when you're getting dressed. This will also build the muscle of shopping your closet and using your inspiration as that instead of aspiration on what to shop for next. Number 5 is that you may be shopping too much. When you feel like you hate your wardrobe and everything in it, the solution is not necessarily to go shopping for what's missing. And believe me, I've learned this. I've wasted a ton of money on clothes. This is what my whole channel is essentially about. But truly, the solution isn't in what's coming next, it's what's already there. Learning to use your closet and what's already there can be such a powerful thing in getting to know what you like and what you don't like. And I often found for me that feeling of, ugh, I hate everything in my wardrobe, and that frazzled feeling and frustration, that would often lead me to just impulse buying something that I thought would be the solution. When truly practicing shopping my own closet and just playing around with what I already had turned out to be the better solution. So next time you feel that, I encourage you to shop your closet. Try it for even a week or a month before deciding that you need to buy something new to perfect your wardrobe and to fix it. I think shopping to find the solution just creates a lot of waste, and I think it hedges too many bets on an external solution and that next perfect thing that really ultimately can just lead to more, ugh, I hate my wardrobe kind of vibes. Number 6 is thinking that you need to look different every day. Embrace being an outfit repeater. I have a video right here on how to find your style uniform, and this uniform doesn't necessarily have to be wearing the exact same thing every day. So I'm not encouraging you to go out and buy 10 of the same black t-shirt to rotate through every single day. You can instead become an outfit repeater while still having variety by finding your style uniform and just playing around with that formula. Becoming an outfit repeater may seem like it's very boring, but for me personally, it has really helped me know what I like and more importantly, what I feel good in every day. You get to know your taste, you get to know how you like your clothes to fit, you get to know what types of pieces you gravitate towards and what you don't. And I don't think I would find that as easily if I prioritized looking different every day rather than finding the formula and uniform that I felt my best in. If you want to know more about how to find your own style uniform, you can check out this video here, and I do have a free Notion template so you can track your own. Number 7 is that you're too focused on the rules. Style rules, I think, can be helpful, but for me, I feel like they create more problems than they solve. So style rules like you shouldn't mix black and navy together, you can't wear white after Labor Day, matching your bag to your shoes, dress for your body shape. I think a lot of these things can certainly be helpful, and if they help you, I think that's great. But for me personally, when I found I've followed those rules a bit too closely, I found myself tending to feel a little bit more stuffy, maybe off and unlike myself, where it was starting to feel less and less personal. I get a lot of comments about how certain capsule wardrobes and even my style can end up looking the same as everybody else. I don't think that's actually true, especially when you let go of these antiquated style rules. The more you step outside the box and break them, then I think that's when things can feel a little bit more you, a little bit more unique, and that's when you won't necessarily risk looking like everybody else, even if you're wearing the same garment. So instead of focusing on the style rules and whether or not you're making them or breaking them, focus on how you feel in the outfit. Yes, maybe playing around with those style rules if the outfit feels off can help, but if you're following those style rules to a T, try just breaking them and see how it feels. For me, I feel so strongly that style and having a good personal style is all about the feeling and all about what makes you feel like you and your best. And if that means your belt doesn't match your shoes, it's probably a good thing. Number 8 is that you're buying too much of the same. Now, I have been very guilty of this myself. I love my duplicates, but I did start to notice over time that it really started to feel quite boring and repetitive in my own style. And after a while, I found myself craving something a little bit more exciting and just a little bit different. I didn't solve this problem by going out and buying a ruffled frou-frou buttercream blouse.
Jerry, this is going to be the new look for the 90s. You're going to be the first pirate. But I don't want to be a pirate.
In an effort to change it up. That to me is a little bit too polarizing, and I think would lead to a lot more confusion and loathing of my wardrobe. So for me, I changed it up slowly by playing around with things like accessories, with bags, with shoes, or even with a more elevated version of a basic, something with a bit more of a point of view, like a shoulder pad, a different material, a texture. And that helped me achieve that bit of variety that I felt was missing in my wardrobe. For me, I'm not looking for so much variety that I just end up getting really confused with my wardrobe and my style. I'm just looking for things that still feel like me, feel like my style, but just have something a little bit different than what my usual base wardrobe offers. Which leads me into number 9, and that is you don't really know what you want your wardrobe to say. There is that famous quote about how personal style is what you say to the world without having to say anything, and I do really believe that that is true. And I don't think that your style needs to necessarily say one thing about you. I made a video about how to find your personal style all with the clothes you have right now, and I got a lot of really cool comments saying that you discovered that your style is gothic and feminine and classic, and on a number of different spectrums. So knowing what you want to say about your style and how you want to feel in it doesn't have to be condensed down into one word. As people, we have a lot of diverse interests and qualities to ourselves, so I think our wardrobe should really reflect that. But the key here is knowing who you are, what you like, and being unapologetic about that. And you can identify this in a number of different ways. There's creators like Alison Bornstein who's come up with the 3-word method to describe yourself and your personal style. Amy Smilovic, the founder of Tibi, has a different version of the 3-word method with a modifier to describe yourself and your style and how you want to feel. And you can even take elements of things that inspire you and even your fantasy self, but the version of that fantasy self that you actually want to adopt. But the common thread here is that you need to take some time to get to know yourself and to figure out what it is you like. If you're letting other people determine that for you, whether that be peer pressure, society, the city that you live in, and even trends and influencers, if you found in the past that those external factors have really shown up in your wardrobe and it doesn't feel like you, then it could be that we've been letting those things dictate what we should like and not necessarily what we actually do. Knowing what you want to say and how you want to feel in your personal style takes a lot of inner work. It does take some experimentation and exploration, and it can definitely be influenced by context too. You want to dress appropriately for where you're going, but there's a way that you can do it where you still feel like yourself if you know yourself and what you want your style to say. If you want to know more on how to find your 3 style words and how you want to feel and what you want to say in your own style, I'll leave Allison and Amy's TikTok and Instagram down below so you can take some time to check that out and find your own. And number 10 is that you care too much. As in caring too much about what other people are going to think. At the end of the day, if you feel good in what you're wearing, then that's truly all that should matter. If Karen decides to go and say, oh, your blazer's a little bit too big, it doesn't flatter you, that's too boxy, let them say that. If you feel good, that's all that matters. And if you ever get comments like that, but think to yourself, well, I like it, then I think you've really nailed the key to having good personal style. It's not about having a minimalist wardrobe, a wardrobe full of neutrals, or having the 10 items that every woman needs. It's about how you feel and how the clothes function for you in your life. And when you choose to care a little bit less about what others are going to think or say and prioritize a little bit more how you feel and wanting to feel good in your clothes, then I think that's where things like overwhelm, frustration, and the feeling of hating your wardrobe start to become a lot less frequent in your life. And I think that's when fashion can start to feel fun, exciting, and where you start to feel cool and stylish in what you wear every day. I think that's the key, and it's truly accessible to anyone. It's not about having designer or keeping up with the latest trends, it's all about how you feel and that confidence that comes from within. So those are 10 reasons why you may hate your wardrobe, but I hope in sharing some of those reasons, you can start to unpack where you may be hitting roadblocks in your own wardrobe and find ways that you can better hone in on your own personal style that feels authentic and genuine to you. Let me know some reasons why you felt like you hated your wardrobe and how you fixed it. Leave me a comment down below. And if you found some value in this video, then please do give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. It's one of the best ways truly you can help support me. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. See you in the next one, guys. Bye.